Welcome back. Earlier this month, the story of those infamous American outlaws, Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, arrived on Broadway, courtesy of the new Frank Wildhorn musical, Bonnie and Clyde. Starring as Bonnie is Laura Osnes, last seen on Broadway in Anything Goes, and Clyde is brought to life by Jeremy Jordan, the actor who starred in the Paper Mill Playhouse production of Newsies this fall. On Stage's Frank DiLella recently got to chat with Osnes and Jordan about bringing this notorious duo to the stage.
Most girls would hate to be standing in my shoes, but true love's something you don't choose. Oh, you love who you love, and you go with what you feel.
That girl's got something, nothing scares her. Only piece of luck that's ever come my way. Can't wait to tell her how much I've missed her. Feeling sorry for James Cagney.
Jeremy Jordan, Laura Osnes, welcome to On Stage. Congratulations on Bonnie and Clyde.
Thanks.
I wanted to start the conversation out with the two of you are playing these infamous outlaws, Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow. You've been with the project for a while. Let's go back to the beginning stages. How did you guys, how did you get involved with this piece?
I initially auditioned for Frank Wildhorn for a different production, and he ended up bringing me alongside in Bonnie and Clyde. He said, I don't think you're right for that, but you might be great for this other musical I've been working on. And I started learning the music with Frank, and he convinced the creative team to cast me in the first reading of Bonnie and Clyde, which was in 2009. And we did an out-of-town production at La Jolla Playhouse in the fall of 2009, and then it got picked up to go to Oslo Repertory Theater in 2010, and that's when Jeremy joined the production.
I've interviewed you both quite a lot over the past few months, and you both are very well read on the real-life Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow.
Yeah.
What was the most interesting thing you learned about, your respective characters?
I guess for what I loved learning about Bonnie was that she wanted to be on Broadway. And I think it's so amazing that now there's a musical about her. If she knew that she was on Broadway right now, I think it'd be really incredible. That was definitely one of my dreams since I was little, so I related to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing that I learned about Clyde was something that wasn't in the show before I joined it, which was the fact that he had been so brutally abused in prison, and it was kind of glossed over in the La Jolla production. And I came in and I was like, we should use this, because I read that, and I really, that was what I felt most for him during the research, and I was like, I think that it's going to help people connect with him, and so I was really intrigued by that and how that really shaped his future psyche.
Yeah.
Well, Bonnie and Clyde were in the spotlight back in the day. They killed roughly 12 or 13 people.
And by they, it was mostly Clyde and
and Bonnie along for the ride.
Right.
So these were very dark, dark people. How do you connect with such dark people and, bring the humanity out in them and really bring them to the stage and have us feel bad for them, which we do, as audience members?
If you don't care about your two main characters, it won't make a good show. And people have said, that the love story is something that makes them relatable, that they were in love with each other, and first and foremost, that's kind of what we're trying to show, that side of them, their humanity. They were also very close to their families, which I think people can relate to. The reason why they got killed, actually, is because they were driving back home to see their families.
It's the first time you both are creating roles on Broadway. Laura, we know you obviously being a rising star, coming out of the Grease reality show and making your debut as Sandy in Grease, then doing South Pacific, Anything Goes. Last season, Jeremy, we know you for taking over as Tony in West Side Story, also doing Rock of Ages. Talk to me about the differences of creating a character, from the bottom up, as opposed to stepping into a role created by other actors.
It's infinitely more exciting and enjoyable and fulfilling Because, you know, you get to go and do the research, and for me, I mean, I know Laura was with it before, but when we started working together, we came to Florida to do the production, the pre-Broadway production, and for the first week, it was just me, Laura and I, and the director, and that was it. And,
Wow.
and all we did was went through all our
Jeff Calhoun.
scenes, Jeff Calhoun, and all we went, and the writer, Ivan, and all we did was we went through all our scenes, and we just really fleshed out what we thought was our story. And so we really got to feel, more so than I think a lot of projects, really part of that creative process.
Now, it's fair to point out that the show opened to mixed reviews. I don't know if you guys read reviews, but it did open to mixed reviews. And
It's
a lot,
inevitable.
Yeah, well,
You know, at least you at least hear reviews.
right. And a lot of people, in terms of the negative reviews, you know, a lot of people attached with the production were saying that Frank was attacked. You know, what do you say to people who kind of are sitting there, you know, and attacking Frank for, you know, just being bad for Broadway? Because we know he's had the reputation of coming in, doing a show, and then immediately closing.
If any show was going to redeem him, I really thought this was going to be it, because the first thing that everybody says when they come to the show is that they love the music. And I feel so bad that people have criticized Frank for the entire show when he wrote the tunes. Evaluate him for the music itself. He didn't write the lyrics, he didn't write the show or any of that, and his name became associated with it when really he's a fantastic musician and he has so much passion for his work that I just think it's such a shame that they criticized his name with the show, and really I think the music is one of its strongest things, and that's what people are saying. So it's hard that the critics thought one thing, but everyone that comes to the show says a completely different thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he sort of became the New York critic whipping boy of Broadway. I really don't, because I mean, you know, his first show was highly successful. Scarlet Pimpernel was also successful, and many composers share, you know, maybe have a handful of successful shows and many more shows that don't make it. I mean, just like anyone else, and I don't know if it was because of his pop music roots and because he started so young, but I mean, I truly love singing his music, and the best part about working with Frank is that he recognizes musicians, and he lets us just kind of go off on our own with his songs.
In closing, because we have to wrap, I read in an article that you guys have a secret joke backstage, or a little joke going on about Bonnie and Clyde Part 2.
Yeah, I mentioned that in an interview. Like,
well, you know,
Can you tell us more?
There's many, actually. There's many in Bonnie and Clyde renditions.
There are.
There's Zombie and Clyde.
Oh yeah. Booby and Clyde.
Booby and...
Okay,
Well,
that's because
I didn't hear this one.
That's because I wear my microphones actually in my chest during the show.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
This is on TV.
Okay.
Yep.
Because there's nowhere else to put them, and so
The secrets of the
I hold
theater.
a gun in there during the show. There's a lot going on.
The secrets of the
So
theater.
yeah, that's no secret.
There you go.
Let's do it.
Well, for now, folks, and catch Bonnie and Clyde Part 1, Jacob's Theater. Or, I'm sorry, the Schoenfeld Theater next door. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And if you'd like to catch Osnes and Jordan in Bonnie and Clyde, you better hurry. The show is only running through December 30th.